Hey guys, welcome back to Brandon's Garages. It's Brandon here. So today we're going to be doing a maintenance item for our C806. This is something that applies to all C8s, and I think this is something that a lot of you guys are going to be very intrigued about. It's going to save a lot of time, maybe even a lot of money. So what am I talking about? So this is what I stumbled across something on the forums just probably like a week ago and placed an order for this panel. But basically what it is, it's an access panel for your DCT filter changes, okay? And this is Strakes is the guy that's on the forums. He's the one who, I don't know if he's the original person that came up with this, but this is the forum post that I've taken this from. So it's not an original idea. I'm just putting this on there, putting it on a video to make it a little easier because the write-up is not confusing, but to me, might be easier to kind of watch than to just read about. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So what are we doing? We're installing this panel that I've ordered. It is an access panel. It has, basically you take a screwdriver, turn the panel, opens the inside, and this opens up, and this allows you access. This is where we're gonna be putting it. And if you look under our C8s, we've got access for our oil filter. We've got access for our drain plug, but we have no access for our DCT. So that requires you to take 42 bolts to get this panel off. It's, even with like air tools and battery tools, it takes a hot minute. This thing bangs you in the head. It's kind of annoying to get back on. I've done it multiple times. I don't like doing it, honestly, getting this panel off. It's just a big pain in the butt. It's not hard, it's just a little time consuming and tedious, but this panel is gonna go right here. It's gonna be a cutout, and we're gonna get the measurements and show you how to do that. And then I'm gonna be able to just pop this down, reach up in there, change my DCT filter, add fluid, whatever I wanna do to the transmission, I will now be able to do without taking this off. So, I think it's a genius idea. Like I said, not my idea, but a genius idea at that. And this is what this panel cost. Like I said, this is not my original idea. There's actually another guy on the forums that ordered this particular panel, and I ordered it too because he linked the part number. So basically it is 8.5 or 8 1/8 by 4 3/4 outer diameter. And then the inside is 6.5 by 10" window that allows you to reach up and through. So this is $50 plus shipping is $10. You don't have to do that. This is just so something that's a little more fancy, looks a little better, more cleaner, it looks more OEM. You can actually, and this is what Strake did, is actually just cut the panel out and then just put a hinge and a lock tab, and you can just make one without really spinning anything if you don't want to spin anything. To me, I like the aesthetics of this. This looks better. It's gonna look OEM when it's in. So we're gonna do that today. So the tools, what I can see that you'll need, I've never done this before, but you're gonna need something to cut it out. I don't think you have to remove the panel. Ideally, removing the panel is going to be probably the best thing to do. But, you know, I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna take the panel off. The whole point of doing this is not have to take the panel off, so I'm gonna leave the panel on. There's a decent gap in between anything that you'll hit with the cutter. So I'm going to do it with the panel on. So that's how this video is gonna go. You wanna be safe, pop that puppy off and do it with it off. You don't have to worry about hitting anything. So we're gonna use basically rivets. So you need a rivet gun, something to cut, grinding wheel, whatever that might be. I'm gonna use one of these two or both. And just need the measurements. So I'm gonna post those on here, the pictures and exact measurements. We're gonna mark this off, and then we're gonna cut this and put this on. So stay tuned. Pretty excited about this. I think this is a great maintenance item. Thank you, Strake. If you're on here, I don't know what your full name is, but if you want to link in the comments and tell me, I'm going to shoot you a PM on the forums as well. But I appreciate you and your idea. This is great. And all right, so let's get started. Friendly reminder, steel and aluminum, these pieces are sharp, just like on this piece. So you'll cut yourself in like 2 seconds. So that's just getting started. That's just looking at the measurements. So. But you guys already know that. So gloves are encouraged. All right, so first step, we want to take off this kind of a guide bolt here. So the bolt that's right next to your oil filter, go ahead and take that one out, and that way you can get your line. And we're gonna draw on a line, and you can look up in there, there's nothing really to hit, and then you've got your subframe sits right here. So we're just put it straight down through and then chalk it up, just make sure it's straight as possible, and then we're gonna get our measurements. All right, so we're gonna lay this. We're gonna get our straight. So this inside bolt is kind of your guide, and then you'll want to make sure that it's in line with the way this is going. Okay, so that gives us kind of our cut line here. Make sure everything stays straight, so we're gonna take that. Okay. And make a line. Okay. All right. And that looks good. So that keeps us, gives us a straight point to cut our square out down here. Now keep in mind, you've got your panel. So it's got grooves underneath it. So even if you cut, you're not gonna hit your frame. See these little lips, so it's kind of open. It's not like it's closed and square. But anyways, either way, that's gonna give us our inside line, and that keeps it straight. So you see, and we're gonna go 2.5 inches from here. It's gonna be our start point, and then I'm just gonna use that as our base to go out, and then go forward 2.5 inches. So then we're gonna do a line this way. All right, so now we're gonna go 2.5 inches off. It's our starting point, which is right there. So, so that gives us our mark of how far down we need to be. So now that we've got this and we've got this side, we can lay our panel, get our dimensions of the actual panel, and then just cut along here and then do the square to there. And that should be good, and we can just drill the pop rivets. All right, so 2.5 inches to here, and then you're gonna follow inside this line of this bolt, because that kind of sits on the outside. The frame actually rolls around that, you can see here. So as long as you're on the inside of that bolt, and it seems to kind of travel outwards, you should be good. All right, so now we're just gonna get our full square. And then okay, so now we've got our square. You can do this by, if you wanna measure it out, it lists the dimensions on the packaging. Depending on what you order, that's gonna be different depending on how you guys decide to do this. But this roughly gives us our cutout point. So all I gotta do now is cut that out, and then we'll pop rivet this on, and we should be good. And if you look, let's see. Okay, going back to here, the inner diameter is 8 1/8 by 4 3/4. So I'll just double check that on mine. Okay, so we're gonna double check. Got 8 inches and 1/8, almost identical. And then 4 3/4. So that's right. So now we just got to cut that out with our Dremel tool, and be easy peasy. All right, so now comes the cuts. Obviously eye protection. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm using my rotary tool, because it's grinding through that bit pretty quick, just to get me an access point to get this in. So that's basically how I'm doing it. So I've got my initial cut. Now don't worry about the scratches, because this is all gonna be covered up by that panel, so it's not gonna matter much. And I'm well inside up there. I can feel where I'm at, so I'm well inside where I need to be. So not gonna really hit anything. There's nothing really to hit. The lowest thing is there's a oil drain plug that's over here, but you won't be near that. All right, I had to do a bit change real quick. Okay, got it mostly cut. We're gonna pull it down. And get that back side. Okay, so holes cut. Now we're just gonna mark our rivet points. I'm gonna have this open to the outside. I don't think it really matters, however you wanna do it. Okay, so we got our 1/8 inch bit because our rivets are 1/8 inch. I've marked my holes, so I'm just going to drill each one of them. Okay. Now we're just going to use the pop rivets, set our thing up there. Set our alignment. So we'll pop rivet a couple in there, get it stationary. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so we're gonna set our panel on. Got our rivet loaded. This is the 1/8 inch. Hopefully it pops through there. If not, we'll have to cut it a little bigger. Okay, it does. Okay, that's good. And then you just take it. That one's in. Okay. I'll just line that up with the other one. Okay. All right, so that holds it stationary, so now we just gotta put our other ones in here. Now, hindsight, I should have just pulled this thing off. A lot easier, I think, for working upside down, so that was a bad idea. So just pull it off for you guys. Don't do what I did, but it's a learning experience. So. Okay, so if you see here, I got a straight shot to both my drain and my fill bolt, which is up there, and my filter. So straight up, got an access panel now. This pulls, and then you just take your little screwdriver and you can lock it. So then you got an access panel. All right, so we'll show that in just a second. Hey guys, so we are done. Now I'm gonna show you kind of what we're dealing with here. All right, so here's our access door. So you pop that, and then you can go inside. And you got your bolts for your drain. You got access to everything. Even if you get tools locked in there, you can lock it back. Now I am, just in the interest of safety, gonna put some painter's tape for the first few 100 miles or 1,000 miles or so along here, just to make sure for some reason this could back out or move, which I don't think it will, just because it's on gravity face and it's actually very difficult to move even with a screwdriver. But I don't want anybody to do anything that's unsafe. So I definitely would recommend putting a piece of tape, just kind of just watch it, make sure that vibration or something's not gonna move that. So the way I did it, obviously so optimal. Taking the plate off is optimal. Talked with Justin from Horsepower Obsessed. He's maybe doing a better version of this than what I did, kind of since learning from my mistakes. So something for you guys to kind of more go by, because like I said, I think my way is suboptimal. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and post this. Also, coming up, I have some good footage with the Cook's headers, driving around footage. That'll be my next video, and then I'll be switching to Teslas for like a few weeks. So, all right, well, have fun, guys. I will talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed.